And we don't reach them, not because we're not needed, not because our stuff isn't good, and not because someone else out there is better than we are. We don't reach them because we lose to this fake, made-up story that isn't real, that someone already did it.
Problem, Rory, is, then automatically the self-doubt kicks in, right? Because how many people have talked about conflict in the world? How many people have talked about conflict negotiation, mediation, conflict resolution? I mean,
way less than people who have talked about hard work, i.e. take the stairs. Way less than people who have talked about money, i.e. pick your person, Dave Ramsey, etc. Way less than people who have talked about health. Way less than people who have talked about leadership. And you're right. So I appreciate that because the self-doubt always kicks in. Whether you're the person saying, I'm not good enough because I'm not the psychiatrist, so I don't have the credibility, or you're the person going, I'm the psychiatrist, I don't have, like the general life experience of personally going through this, or whatever the story is. The self-doubt always kicks in. It's always there. Like it's an inevitable part of the process. But I'm telling you, number one, yes, it has been done, but it hasn't been done by you. It hasn't been done through your lens. It's kind of, we use the law of the frequency all the time, right? It's like, if, in your eyes, you say it's already been done, but it doesn't matter because only certain people will be able to tune into your frequency. Like the literal example of this is a radio. We can both own radio stations, and we can be playing the exact same song at the exact same time. But the only people who are going to hear the song are the people who are tuned into our radio station. So should I not have a radio station because you have a radio station that plays the same song? Should I not have a Mexican restaurant because there's another Mexican restaurant down the street? No. There should be, if you love Mexican, first of all, if you love Mexican food, you want to go to all the Mexican restaurants, right? Like if you love leadership, like I love studying this stuff, I want to learn from John Maxwell and John Gordon and Tony Robbins, and like everybody. So that's one thing. The other is they may never hear that other frequency. Like for us in this world, we go, oh, well, yeah, radical candor. Like Kim Scott already did that. Crucial Conversations already did that. I'm telling you, 7.8 billion of the other people on the planet have never even heard of those people. They've never heard of them. They have no idea who they are. And even if they do, they don't know how to find them, or they're not right in front of their face, or they're not connected to the people that you're connected to. And look, if they loved one, they're going to love the other. We don't just eat at one Mexican restaurant. Like we go, and here's the other thing. Okay. Think about meeting planners. This is one of my favorite things to do. I love it when someone books John Gordon. Why? Because if they book John Gordon this year, you know who they're not going to have next year? John Gordon. But if they book John Gordon, what do I know? I know they love motivational speakers with general inspirational messages that are ubiquitous and apply to everybody. Guess who has one of those? This guy right here. The other thing is, if they book John Gordon, guess what else I know about him? They have money. So I'm like, great. I'm following in his wake. Like I want to be there. Because if they can't have him, or they can't afford him, or they had him last year, and here's the thing, the people who book Rory Vaden, guess who they're not going to book next year? They're not going to book Rory Vaden. So guess who they should book? They should book John Gordon. So why don't I tell them, hey, you should book John Gordon? And why doesn't John Gordon say, hey, you should look at Rory Vaden? And we do. And the rising tide raises all ships. There is an interview we did with Gretchen Rubin, who wrote The Happiness Project. Gretchen talked about there's no such thing as competitors, there's only colleagues. And if they already read that book and they loved it, they want another book to read, right? Like if you've read Twilight, you're only going to read it so many times before you want to find another series to dive into. So even if someone does exactly the same topic you do, exactly the same message, there's a lot of people, y'all, like we need a lot of Mexican restaurants. We need a lot of radio stations to play the exact same songs that we all love. If you love Need to Breathe, like I freaking love Need to Breathe, I also love One Republic. They're very much in the same vein. I love both of them. I love Casting Crowns and I love Third Day, right? Like I love both of them. Here's why this matters to me so much. It matters to me because I know there's people out there who need what you have. There are people out there with disobedient dogs, and it's not just, it's ruining their friggin' life. Like they're destroying their house. It's stressing their marriage. It's causing conflict, and they don't know how to talk about conflict because they need Todd Holtzman because they have a dog that's disobedient. And I'm going, you have the answer, right? Like you have the cure. You've spent 26 years, you've got it right here. And the reason that person doesn't hear about it is because this invisible fake crap going on in our head. Oh, someone already wrote that book. Oh, someone else already did that. That person doesn't care. They don't know. They're yelling at their spouse because the dog pissed in the corner again, and they don't know how to have an intelligent conversation, and they need both of you. And we don't reach them, not because we're not needed, not because our stuff isn't good, and not because someone else out there is better than we are. We don't reach them because we lose to this fake made up story that isn't real, that someone already did it. That's why we care so much about this.